Look, it was just last Thursday, right here on Sky, I was filling in for Andrew Bolt, that I opened the show praising Liberal leader Sussan Ley for her strong appearance in the lead up to the recall of federal parliament. She put Anthony Albanese to the sword over his wishy-washy response to Bondi, his refusal week after week to establish a royal commission. Here's a reminder of what Sussan Ley said last Thursday.
The opposition has extremely serious concerns about the government's legislation. It doesn't address Islamic extremism. It doesn't address ISIS influence. And it doesn't address the rise of anti-Semitism and the associated terrorist threat in Australia.
Well, that was just a week ago, and week's a long time in politics, I know, but the coalition couldn't stick together and vote as one in favour or against what have now seen to be an overreach by Labor with their hate speech laws. By yesterday morning, Nationals leader David Littleproud decided, along with his national colleagues, that they could not work with Sussan Ley.
There's no other position where we cannot be part. Our party room has made it very clear we cannot be part of a shadow ministry under Sussan Ley.
Then the explosions began. He was then labelled by one unnamed Liberal as a pathological liar. Kieran Gilbert had that information on his program yesterday, with the source claiming that Littleproud had lied to the Liberals and even lied to his own party. Respected Canberra political reporter, a veteran, Dennis Shanahan, on page 1 of the Australian today, didn't miss, saying the Nats, under their leader, Littleproud, have, quote, committed one of the all-time greatest acts of political bastardry, self-inflicted damage and stupidity in pulling out of the coalition. Dennis went on to say Littleproud has demonstrated little courage, little intelligence and little of which to be proud, adding the Nationals used subterfuge to justify idiocy. Ouch. So, where to now? Sussan Ley bobbed up on Breakfast TV this morning, insisting she was going nowhere.
Will you survive as leader?
Yes, I will. I just want to say the door is not closed, but my eye is not on the door. My eye is on the work that my team has already done over summer in holding the government to account.
She's done no other interviews today and not held a media conference. Her deputy, Ted O'Brien, he was wheeled out and joined us here on Sky earlier today.
The Liberal Party leadership is not a matter for the National Party, it is a matter for the Liberal Party. And Sussan Ley has been elected our leader and she will continue to be our leader.
And of course now the clock is ticking. Now it's impossible to see how Sussan Ley survives, and likely candidates include Angus Taylor. It's been reported that he's jetting back from a European holiday. Unusual that he wasn't here during the 2-day sitting of Parliament. And some people have called into question whether he really wants the job. And of course, Andrew Hastie from Western Australia, clearly the best candidate, in my view, is not even in the Parliament. That's Josh Frydenberg. Now, there is, however, no hint that those running the parliamentary party have the appetite for anything as brave as to copy the Campbell-Newman or Canada's Mark Carney. Campbell, of course, he'll be up with us soon, and Carney, the ex-banker, who's now the Canadian PM, would they install a leader who would have to win a seat? I mean, Campbell-Newman, he was the Lord Mayor of Brisbane. They made him the leader of the LNP, and he ended up being Premier. But surely it is that sort of radical left field, or should I say right field, thinking that might just save the Liberals. What they can't do is linger, just as Ley told Albanese the time for action. It's right now.